Security Watch Africa is already there. Is it Ghana? Is it Cote d'Ivoire? Is it Senegal, Sierra Leone? Name it. All over. Niger, Benin Republic, Togo, they are all over. Cameroon, they are all over. This is what we expect. With this kind of information, it gives synergy among countries that will fight the transnational crimes that are manifesting its ugly faces within this sub-region. And this is what we are talking about. It's not just to sit on a television and then you talk about security. Security Watch Africa, they go deep into the arena, into where the war is going on. Look at what happened some couple of weeks or months back. He was during the heat of the Boko Haram. Security Watch Africa was there live, reporting what's going on. This is the kind of thing that we needed.
Thanks for tuning into your station, the AfricaTelevision, and welcome to your program, Security Watch Africa. This is the first edition of this program, first episode in the year 2020. I must, on behalf of the entire crew and the station here, wish you a happy Christmas. Christmas is past. And Happy New Year. And I believe that the year 2020 will be a prosperous one for all of us, with protection and guidance all through the year. Thanks for staying tuned. Today, we'll be looking at something that is very, very important. The last two editions of this program, we did look at security in 2019, and this year it's a year that a lot of promises have been made. There's talking about 2020. I remember years ago there was this government talk about Vision 2020. Yes, we are now already in 2020, and but there are a lot of promises. But we want to start up the year looking at how would the security look like, project the security, and the role of religious organizations in helping to take care of most of the insecurity challenges we'll have in this country, Nigeria. But more essentially, we'll be looking at, do the security agencies themselves need assistance? Do they need support from everybody? Because security is said to be everybody's business. And already on the program, I have very learned persons, I must say, in all star-studded, I must say. But let me start with my immediate left. My immediate left is Brigadier General Sani Usman, a member of the National Institute, MNI, and retired, but he's not tired, like somebody just said in the studio that he's retired but not tired. So he's already here in the studio with us to look at how security was in 2019 and what should be expected from the security agencies in 2020. Yeah, on his own left is Pastor Chukwuma Nwokocha. Pastor Chukwuma Nwokocha is the founder of Chukwuma Nwokocha Ministries International, and he recently won the award, the 16th Africa Security Watch Awards in Dubai for what he's been doing in sensitizing people in area of security. On my far left is a man I have heard so much about him, and this is my first time of meeting him, but I respect him so much because he's a fearless preacher. Talking about Dr. Musa Olaife, is the Imam of Ansari Mosque here in Abuja. It's a pleasure to have you all in the studio.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yes, I must start with you. Yes, I know that you just got back from the Northeast. You were there, and we wish to have been there with you, but you were there. Looking at the year 2019 and now, how would you summarize security situation in Nigeria?
Well, I think with the benefit of hindsight, 2019 was a most interesting year when it comes to security issues or challenges in this country. But I think we must give kudos to the government, security agencies, and of course, Nigerians as a whole, because it was a marked improvement as compared to what we had in the previous years, taken about maybe 2018 and 2017 combined. So there was remarkable improvement in terms of security, and progress has been made, and we look forward to continuous improvement in security in various aspects of
Yeah.
security in the country.
Okay. Okay. Now, let me come to you, Imam, because so much has been said in the year 2019, and it's behind us now. We have a hope for a better 2020. But going by what he said, that there was improvement from the previous years, and now, how will you look at it, and what do you expect in this 2020?
Well, security issue is not what only one person can do. It's a collective responsibility in such a way that Nigeria will need to put us together to make sure that we assist governments, because government alone cannot do it. Because security is the pillar or is an umbrella in which all of us will put our heads on. Because once you are secured, you can move freely to do so many good things in your own life. But you see, governments, as far as I'm concerned, they are really trying their possible best, because they are human beings like every one of us. And for it is when they hear much information about whatever is going on, they can be able to act, and act very wisely. Because if anything is happening somewhere, nobody informed them. They are human beings like us, and then they sleep the way we sleep, they move the way we move, and then they drink water the way we drink, and many other things. But the only thing that makes them to be more different, because they put on that uniform. They are well trained in terms of security. So 2019 has gone, and has gone forever. So it is our joy that in 2020, let's put heads together and see how we can improve in terms of security. Once you are secured, many good things will be coming into your country, because internationally, once the country is secured, you will see that everybody will love to come to that country. And it is not what only one person can do. So if there are things, the DSS are there, the law enforcement agencies, some of them are there, including religious leaders. They are part of it. It's only you don't put on uniform, but they are part of it.
Because that is where I will go to talk to you later,
Because-
but conclude.
So because that is the area in which when we talk to our people, they listen to us. Please maintain peace and order. Peace is very essential. That one alone, it makes majority of them to be more peaceful. And that is why there is no way in which you can underrate them. There is no way in which you can just abandon them. You carry them along in terms of security so that Nigeria can be more greater.
Okay. Yeah, Pastor Chuma, you just gone back from the southeast. I know that so many people traveled home for the Christmas and New Year, and you just returned back. Maybe you should tell us, how was it this time around compared to how it used to be?
I think from the experiences, from what I saw in the southeast, there's a lot of improvement. I never saw what I used to see before. People were moving around, the security men, the policemen were there, and just as long as you have your papers, if you are driving, you don't have any problem, and there's no casualty anywhere. For what I saw from the southeast, I think there's a lot of improvement, I must confess. And I'm hopeful that in 2020, this year, there's going to be a lot and a lot of great improvement.
Okay. All right, it's good to start off this part. Let me come to you. You are now a public relations consultant. I know now you're not doing public relations for anybody, not for the government, not for the Nigerian army that you are part of 35 years. But being a Nigerian that you have always stood, looking at it critically, do you think that Nigeria have, because the two other contributors have said there is hope, do you think there is actually hope from what we have with the security agencies?
Honestly, there is a lot of hope. Just like the pastor has said, and if you look at the 6 geopolitical zones of the country and you take statistics of the security situations or incidences of insecurity within the last 6 months and compared it with the previous 6 months, you will realize that definitely there is a remarkable improvement. And even though there is still room for improvement, we are gradually towards a better and more skilled Nigeria. I I was privileged to travel to the northeast and as far as Goza, and I was privileged to attend the Nigerian Army social activities as well as the medal presentation parade for the Truce of Operation Life here at Dole. And honestly, and I traveled by road, and what I saw was tremendous improvement compared to those years that I've been traversing that area, you know, between 2016, 17, 18, and 19, and now we're in 2020, honestly. And I saw, you know, the level of activities, you know, picking up, you know, farms with green products, and, you know, it is so wonderful. And, you know, and it is not just the Northeast. Incidences of insecurity has drastically reduced, and there is renewed awareness on the part of the citizenry, because security is a collective responsibility. And of course, the effort of the government and the security agencies, take for instance, even the launching of the national security strategy and so many other things. You know, eventually there is a new renewed consciousness on the part of Nigerians, and of course the government itself. So definitely there is hope.
Great. On that, you know, like you said, northeast, southeast, everywhere everywhere seems to be well in order. People moved about without any hindrance. But let me come. Look, now you can participate. You can be part of this program. You, our dear viewers, there are channels where you can communicate with us. If you have any question or you have any view, you can share with us via the Twitter account, Security Watch 90 at Security Watch 97, and Facebook is Security Watch Africa. You can send email to us at secwatchafrica1997@gmail.com, so we can discuss, and if there's any specific question you want us to take, then we can take it. Iman, let me come to you. You mentioned an aspect which is particularly very interesting, the role of the religious leaders. It's said that in Nigeria is a very religious country. We are very religious, even more than most of the countries that have brought out this religion. Why is it that, in spite of the messages from these religious leaders, we still have criminals, those who want to destabilize the society? Is it that they are not listening, or the leaders, the religious leaders, are not sending these messages?
Well, it's not that they are not sending the messages, but you see, if you want to give somebody something, or you want to take something from somebody, you must have given that person some things he needed or to have at hand. Governments, let's be realistic. Government should try to provide job. When people are not jobless, when they are working, they will concentrate much on their life, on the security of the country, and they will be very busy in doing so many things. If you cannot work with government, they should try to empower those who are ready to be empowered, so that when they are working, they will be very busy. For example, in the olden days, when you go to work 7 o'clock, you will not close until 7 in the evening before you get back home. But these days, people are not working. They are not getting anything doing. We are graduating students from the university every blessed year. You see them NYC. You see them after that NYC, government have paid for their NYC for 1 year. Then they start looking for a job. So please, government is trying, but they should intensify more efforts to make sure that they allow them to be busy. When they are doing that, there will not be any problem. And it will even less the work of the religious leaders, because an hungry man is an angry man. Once you are hungry, there is nothing you can tell that person. Listen to the word of God. God says, they can even say, Madam, let me tell you something. Before I can listen to you, I have to eat something first. But when they are okay, they are contented, they are feeling fine, then they will listen to you, and then all these things, criminalities and some other things, will reduce drastically in the society. Mm-hmm. Take, for example, if you look at what happened is part of security we are discussing, what happened in Pape at that time. It was we were even told or read that an insider, Look at that. Look at
Yeah,
that.
because that is where I will come. You see, some people who are even still employed and yet they commit crime.
That is
Because a
it.
bank worker, he's gainfully employed.
So what is-
and the other guy is also a working somewhere. But
So,
still, so
Are
unemployment.
they not saying that they are not being paid very well? Are they not saying that they don't have Muslims, they go to mosque on Fridays, they go to church on Sundays? Are they not saying that people are not reading the books? It is not that they are not listening to the word of God. Are you getting it now? What they have, what they want to do in their mind, there is nothing you can do.
So
Even
maybe
when-
greed is part of it.
of course.
Yeah, okay, all right, Pastor, let me come to you. Some religious leaders have actually been accused of promoting prosperity at all costs. And so because of that, people want to, without learning the rope, without working hard, they want to make it at suddenly. And that's also helping to generate greed among the people. And the society itself seems to worship those who forget about holiness, about doing the righteous things, but rather go into prosperity. How do you see this?
Well, the first thing first is that security should not be left in the hands of the security people, agents. That's number one. The children of God or the men of God should also be part of it. Secondly, there's one of the crises that we're having. These men of God that are promoting prosperity and the rest, leaving the aspect of salvation at the rest, is part of the problem. We must stop those kind of lifestyle. Our lifestyle, some of us, we must stop it. It's better we tell ourselves the truth. If you are doing such thing in the church, people will support you. People will follow you. They want to emulate what you are doing. And out of that, you cannot tell me because they are poor, you are rich. And when they see their condition and they are poor, they want to do something to get something. That's why we ourselves as children of God, we need to change our lifestyle. It is when we change our lifestyle, we're going to preach unity and peace and hope. When you preach hope to them, and after preaching hope to them, you let them know this is the right thing to do. I tell you, a lot of things will change. Most of the criminals, most of the things you see, you won't see it again. If we begin to change, it's just our mindset, it's just our lifestyle, it's just our attitude towards what is called religion. We need to separate it from, some of us have different characters. We are joining our personal life or our character or interest towards the will of God. And that's what is creating problem. Until we begin to stop it. If we don't stop it, the thing will keep increasing. And when you say the security agents, they should do it, you keep blaming them, you are creating problem. They are not doing it well. What we hear every day in the church, I must confess, I must say this is a national tele. There's a yearly prophecy now. What you hear is something will happen. People will die. Must it be that? Must people die? Must you have that kind of prophecy? There's nothing like that. This is national television. I must confess to you. Yeah. We should change this kind of thing. We should change, even if you see that somebody will die, God gave you authority to pray against death, and there will be no death.
Exactly.
Last election, so before you go, the last election they did, they were saying that they're going to be war. They came to me, I said, no, God did not tell me that. God said that the election will come and go. At the end of the day, one person will win. The other person will go to court. At the end of the day, that is going to be the end. Nothing will happen. And it came to pass. Must we begin to prophesy? That's the crisis we're having. People are not mentioning the main thing. The main thing is that every time you see men of God talking things that are not supposed to say, just because your interest is not there, so you say whatever you want to say. And that's the problem.
This is a profound comment. I wish we really have time, and the studio is telling us that time, because it's just 25 minutes. But I think I will beg you, because we must have to continue with this next week, because a lot of things need to be touched. But let me come to you, General. You have heard them talk about it, and each time they say that the security agencies need help. What help do you think the security agencies need, really?
Honestly, I must thank them profoundly, because just like they rightly observed, security is a collective responsibility, more so in Nigeria. Take, for instance, what the total number or strength of the security agencies, both those wearing uniform and those in plain cloth. The projected population of this country is about 200 million, right? Mm. And I don't think we have up to 2 million security agencies. Do we have enough? So it is very difficult for them to secure Nigeria without the collective effort, support of the government and, of course, the good people of this country and well-meaning people. Therefore, Nigerians should understand security is a collective responsibility. They should take ownership of this security. And by ownership, I mean they should understand all the security measures are geared towards safeguarding lives and properties of Nigerians and, of course, the residents within that country. So we owe it as a point of duty to understand that, to support, to cooperate. And we should also emphasize on security education at all levels, right from the family. Because sometimes the children who are being taught in school and a child will come home, he or she must have observed something and towards, and by the time you start talking, you say, shut up. You need to listen. You need to, conscientize them so that they will grow up to become responsible citizens that are security conscious. And of course, we have to assist the security agencies with timely and accurate information. And of course, I have to talk to you, being, a media professionals. The media is very, very critical when it comes to security matters. We should emphasize more on professionalism. We should discountenance this fake news and eagerness to break the news without verification, because it brings a lot of apprehension and has tremendous impact on security situation. Then, of course, the government on its part should devote more budgetary allocation to security agencies. And it is not enough to have budgetary allocation, but there should be timely releases. It is not just enough because you have budgeted 100 billion naira, and at the end of the day, you will only release maybe 40 or 30. So what will happen? And of course, there are issues that we just have to think out of the box, think of better ways to, fund security. Lagos State has come out with security, trust fund, and it's working very well. I think people should emulate that. And above that, there are some people that are critical stakeholders in the security architectures of this country that are being neglected. The traditional institutions and, of course, the religious leaders, and so many others.
General, the studio is telling me to round up. But that is where we must please repeat this thing again, because it's very, very important where you are coming there. Those critical stakeholders are not being carried on, and we are beginning to think that they are very, very important. So next week, please, we'll have to tell us more about this.
Patrick, I have to tell you one thing. There is also onus of responsibility on the security agencies. There should be improved cooperation and understanding and support of one another. Just like somebody has said, there is no trophy for an individual, but trophy for collectiveness. So it is a collective responsibility. They should support and cooperate with each other. So this competitiveness is not necessary. Yes, though we have a lot of people commenting on the social media. We have Arishama Joseph. Unfortunately, we can't take your comment, but you're just commending the president and the security agencies. I would have loved that you pray for Nigerians, but maybe next week we'll do that, pray for the country. But next week we'll have to do that because they say we must leave. Sadly, we must just leave for other programs to continue. So it's my pleasure having you in the studio. Do I have your promise to be here next week? We will be here by the expression.
All right. So you had it, viewers. They will be here. We'll have to continue with it. So send your messages. I think you will be the one to ask the questions for next week. Just send your messages between now and next week so that we can take it up with them. Until we come here again next week, I say thanks for staying tuned and bye for now.